All right, can you hear me? I am actually using StreamYard. Never done that before. It took me 8 minutes to get it going. Happened at the end. I am actually turn that down. So apparently there's a way. So hey, thumbs up. Ah, hello everybody. This is an experiment. Sound is cutting in and out. Oh, let me see what I can do about that. Anything. Way. Again, guys, this is obviously an experiment for me. How about now? Can you hear me better now? I know there's I don't know, 7 to 10 seconds, I guess, before I see anything you write. Okay. I moved the mic closer to me. Cool. Never done StreamYard before, ever. And I'm not paying for it. I'm doing the free one like Laz does. So, you know. Peggy. Hello, Peggy. Look, Peggy has a wrench. MPN, you want a wrench? I'll have to send you a wrench too, MPN. And you'll be able to approve and ban people in here. All right. Okay, so this is Dane's guitar that Billy Ray swears he's going to buy. And I mean, if he does, that's fine. More power to him. But my goal is to have Dane at least have this on his walls for a little while. And then people ask him, hey, can I get something done like that too? And then he can pass out my information. That would be great. If he would do that. So I'm hoping he will. Um so I got it pretty much sanded and I'm just like searching through it. There was a dip here. And I got one here I have to fix. Now, the one issue that's going to be a weird issue is it's got binding around it. And it's not painted binding like a Chapman. Chapman looks like it's got good binding around it. It's just paint, like a pinstripe, more or less. I was hoping that's what this one was, and it's not. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this on that camera, but if you look right there, you'll see a line between the binding and the body. And I thought about how well you can see that, if you can see it. I thought about trying to fill it Then I thought, well, no, because something hits it, it'll start cracking, and then it's going to crack all the way across. So I chose not to do it. But I'm going through and checking for other dents and filling them. Now I used to use. I didn't even know I didn't even know they still made this stuff. I'm so happy they do. Um, when I when we had to shop and doing the body work and everything all the time, we used to use the red Bondo spot putty, and that stuff, iffy. And then I remember like 1990, I had come across this stuff, 3M green acrylic, and this stuff dries within 5-10 minutes, and it sands so smooth, and I mean you can't. There's no feeling that you can't tell it's even there. This is so much better. Yeah, it costs more. I think this is like a almost a 1 pound tube, and it's like $30, but it's so much better. So I'm just checking. I got, like I said, I got a couple back here I have to fill, and one right here. I did do the back. Back was full of like cracks, scratches, and so I basically just did this whole section and then this whole section back here, and 10 minutes later, it was all sanded down like that, and you can see it, but you cannot feel it anywhere. And this stuff even paints better than the Bondo spot putty. So I'm debating. Now this doesn't matter because the battery, the battery tray that holds everything covers all this up. But and this is, I mean, it doesn't affect performance at all. But you see how rough this is in here? Okay. I did take the router and route that out like I said I was going to. Smooth that all out there. And I also did it up here. Routed the whole base of both these out, flattened them out nice and smooth so you don't have stuff that's getting in the way. I even drilled the holes out a little bit bigger. Actually, it's one hole. It went straight through there, into there, and then back in here. So just a hair bigger, and that way the wires are going to go through there. Nothing's going to get stuck. So whoever ends up with this guitar, if they do decide to do anything to it, it's going to be easy to work on. So I'm thinking about actually taking this green glazing putty and filling all this in. So it's all completely smooth on the walls. I know for function, it doesn't mean crap, but looks wise, it'll look a lot neater and a lot more professional. Now, granted, this is not a very expensive Schecter guitar, but could be. And I'm still not completely, I have a couple ideas now what I want to do for the paint wise on this. Dane was gracious enough to leave it up to me to however I wanted to do it. And I know that he's 2 years older than me, but he's an 80s guy just like I am. Not in our 80s, even though we're closer to our 80s now than we were from the 80s. So I want to bring this in. I want to make sure it's an 80s style paint job. I have a couple ideas in mind, and I don't want to give it out yet. Once I get it started, then I'll show it. But it's I was thinking about filling in, no pickup rings, but they're they're active pickups, And he did. I received this today. Um, Geiker had sent him an adjustable roller bridge. So those are actually really nice. String rolls on them instead of just slides on a piece of flat steel. And it comes with its pins and everything. But here's the issue. See the size of that pin? See the size of that hole? Yeah, we got a lot of space there. So I thought, okay, I'll plug these, sand them down, and then re-drill it. And the biggest plugs I have don't fit. So I'm going to have to go tomorrow, close, buy a couple bigger dowel rods, um, and see what we have. I'm thinking it's probably a half inch. 11.96. It's B12. Yeah, 4710. So it's just under half inch. So yeah. So I'll buy a couple half-inch dowel rods, and then I can sand them down, sand them down a little bit, and get a nice tight fit in there. And I'll have to take the wire out of here and plug it. Take the wire out, plug it, re-drill the hole, then run the hole back through it to put the wire back in. But I'm also going to copper foil tape inside that, so when the wire goes down in there, it's not just up against. It's not just up against this painted surface. I'll scratch a little bit of this blue or this black powder coat off of here, and then make sure it's wrapped. Again, copper coiled or copper foil tape, so we got 100% connection. So I'm not just doing the paint job on this and then sending it back. I'm actually basically rebuilding this entire guitar for him, set up and everything, and then when he gets it, he won't have to do anything to it. He'll have new strings. He'll have everything set up, running perfect, and all he'll have to do is plug it in, try it out, and hang it on the wall, and hopefully tell a bunch of people. You guys aren't talking. You still hear me? Am I too loud? I can back the mic up, or I can turn it down. Let's see. Nope. So, are you guys still here? Any Peggy MPN? You guys are lived through the 80s also. Any ideas? Do you guys have any ideas on what kind of paint job it should be? I have a. I know Dane also loves glitter paint jobs, but I don't want to do this like that, and he's already got a whole handful of glitter paint jobs. I really want this to stand out. Um, Something that he's like glad he sent it and had it done. If that makes any sense. But yeah, you guys, green, blue, and pink. I know pink was big in the 80s. Well, he did a swirl guitar, or he cleared a swirl guitar or something. I want to do. I no. I thought about doing another type Cosmo, something like the one I did for you, MPN, but obviously there's no two going to be alike. But this one would be a little bit more tricky with the two pickups because I'm not going to do the top pickups. I'm going to have the Cosmo look and then two black rectangles right in the middle of it. So I don't know if that'll work either. But I like I said, I have two in mind that I'm thinking of. Now you can see this doesn't fit. So I have two in mind, and I'm actually thinking. And we're gonna have the ring cover pickup, and we're gonna have. I don't know if I'm gonna go back with the Cosmo black knob, black general chrome. I don't know. Depends on what paint scheme ends up being. And like I said earlier, I did route this out. It's nice and smooth now, where before it was all it was all like this inside here. You see how rough that is in there. So this was like that. So was this. So I did, like I said, broke out the router, got that all nice and level. Got back here where the electronics go, nice and level. And I did paint this with shielding paint, but since then I obviously primed it. But once it's all done, I will shield it again with the paint, then go over it with the copper here, both these and the cavity in the back. And then go ahead and put everything back in it. So, Revolution, hello, zebra stripe. Like a Ted Nugent type guitar. Yeah, I've been debating, thinking what to do, because I know what he likes, and he's got a lot of what he likes already. So I just don't want to do another one. But I want him to look at it and say, "Damn, this is it." So I'm going through, trying to think exactly what I need to do, what I want it to look like. Yeah, I'm trying to be pretty much dead on with something that he would happy to show off at the store, and the people who come in the store would like to end up owning it eventually if they can beat Billy Ray. I know Billy's already talking about. Billy Ray lives right by the store. He already bought 60 guitars from Dane. So he's already told him that he wanted this regardless what it looks like. So who knows? I'm just trying to come up with something that just screams the 80s. Yet something he doesn't already have. I mean, he's got he had guys. I think I am now going to be the fourth painter who's done guitars for a guitar for Dane, and I hope he likes this enough that he's like, hey, I'll send you some more. So I don't want to just have a repeat and have him, oh look, here I have 7 crackle finishes by 3 different people. So I'm just trying to come up with something that he would be proud to show at the store, And ideally, you hear that? That's this hitting the bench. That's how it attaches to the painting fixture. So I can spin it this way and this way. Um, Ideally, I'd like him to have it where he doesn't want to sell it. But I understand he's, business, buy, sell, trade. So you don't make any money if you end up keeping. I will sign this one on the ins. Oh, probably be under here. In here, well, probably. Usually, I sign it with the tremolo where the springs are underneath the springs, but can't, obviously, unless I route it out and put a Floyd on it. Any questions, chat, or ideas, thoughts? Doesn't matter. Could be anything. Got nothing to hide, and I'm willing to help pretty much anybody. Again, I am completely new to actually running a Facebook or not a StreamYard show. I've never done that. I kept clicking the go live button, kept giving me different options, and most of them I'm on the free one, so most of them didn't work. So I just wanted to test it because what I think I'll do is nights that I'm not on Johnny's show, or he's not on, and if I have stuff to work on here, which usually I do, I'll just do this, just go live here and sit here at the bench while I'm doing this, and we can shoot the breeze. And if I do the StreamYard, like obviously like I'm doing now, I could have guests. How do I feel about doing another Cosmo? I would love. I mean, you got the first one I've ever done. I've always wanted to do that, but always was afraid to work with actual glitter. I mean, I've sprayed metal flake within paint before, but all the glitter that's on your guitar is not, none of that's through the paint, none of it. What I did is I did base coat of your guitar black. Then before it dried, I took the mica powder on my hand and just kind of like threw it on, and then did the other colors, then the glitter. Then I sprayed the clear over it. That's how you got that. I didn't spray any paint guns at all. That was all just tossed on by hand and then cleared over. And it was the first one I ever did. I always wanted to do it, and I thought it turned out great. I was praying to God you liked it, and I'm glad you do. Peggy saying multicolor splash look. Yeah, that's possible. That's kind of like one of the ones I got in mind. But it's just I just want it to be special, and I'm trying not to overthink it because I have a tendency to do that when I'm like this is the first one for him, and I've seen what he's got already from the other three guys. So I don't want to give him another one of the same thing, but yet I also want him to see quality that I actually pride myself in on doing these. Um, I'm not doing these with a spray can and then uh, spray can clear. I'm actually car paint, car clear through a spray gun. Actually, a couple. I have one for the paint. Well, actually, I end up getting a couple more, so I have like 3 or 4 for the paints and 2 for the clears. So I just want to make sure. I want to make sure when he gets this, to, not be afraid to send me anything else. And I am not charging Dane for this at all. I just kind of like want to show him what I can do. I want to thank Dane for actually trusting me, because the other guys who have done his guitars are obviously there around him. They're in the Mesa, Arizona area. He's sent this one clear across country. And I could see, put a reservation there, or I can understand if he had a reservation there, because I mean, I would, kind of like, wow, am I ever going to get it back? What have you? I just send it away for no reason. So I want him to know that there's no issue here. He will get it back. Although I'm not going to be painting this. Actually, another reason why, here I'll tell you this too. Another reason why I did this tonight is because I'll be on Johnny's show. I guess if we do one tomorrow, I'll be there, and then the Wednesday work, and then Friday and Saturday I won't, because I have to be out of town, unless I do it from like the phone or the laptop. But I won't be at the bench or doing anything. It'll be just like hanging out, watching what you guys are watching, him at the bench. I know he talked about going through his bench again, something else, which I think that's pretty cool. I like when he does that. Uh, Nothing wrong, nothing whatsoever. Getting a little better of remembering where I put stuff. So right now, I had like a core brush. Fine bristle. Yeah, core brush that I could do here, but I don't happen to see it right. Some things I'm remembering where I'm putting them, and other things I'm still trying to remember. But and I'm also getting away from uh, using water, wet sanding, because regardless, no matter what you try, and I have because I used to do powder coating. Believe it. Actually, if I get another oven that I could use, I can still do it. Matter of fact, I have a brand new gun out there that only got used once, and still the powder. And so what happens is they're like corks, but they're rubber and they're heat resistant. So I have some of those, and what I would do is put those in here, in these holes when I would wet sand. But even then, still some gets in there, and you don't want that to happen. Because what it will do is it'll raise, like this side of it will raise up, or usually it's the same side on each one, but they'll raise up. Then you got to wait a few days for it to go back down before you can do anything, and then you're afraid to paint it till it's down. Then you're sitting here with a hair dryer or a heat gun. And I thought, you know what, sandpaper has increased in quality over the years from when we had the body shops. When I was a little, my dad had them when I was a little kid. Then we had one clear into 1993. I think. So wet sanding stuff. So I've decided now that I'm not going to wet sand anymore. I don't want any of the water get down and ruin any of this stuff. Billy Ray, hello. I do not have any super chats or anything like that. Two reasons: I don't have any channel members, and I have no idea how to. Right now, I just like sitting here talking to everybody, answering questions, and finding out what you like or don't like. Billy Ray, I told him you want to buy this guitar. Dane gets it. I have compressors out in the garage. Two of them is way too big for down here. Then I got another little little Craftsman that would work, but the problem is it like continuously runs. Can't even tell that's there. Yep, this is Dane's guitar. Billy Ray wants to be the owner of it. Hi, Rich. Rich, I am just doing this because I like talking with people in the chat. I really do. And I won't be here for Friday or Saturday's show unless I can do it from my phone out of town. But then I won't be obviously at the bench working on anything. I'd be more or less just a person in the chat. Well, I'd be on, he might put me on the show, but I'd just be sitting there watching the same thing you guys are watching. So I figured I'd do this. I had to work on this tonight. I figured I'd go ahead and do this, and then maybe if we're doing anything tomorrow, and then obviously workbench Wednesday. So that give me 3 days. Just I know Laz won't be doing anything Thursday. At least I don't think he will be. Yeah, Billy's bound determined to buy this guitar, and it's Dane, so I can't tell him what he can or can't do with it. I want it to at least hang up in the store for a little while more than 30 minutes, Billy, so people can see it and maybe Dane can generate some business my way. This week, it's not supposed to be above 60 and lows in the 30s, so painting this week's up. Plus, I won't be here for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I won't be back till Sunday morning. Hopefully, next week I can get Rich. Hopefully I can get yours all painted and cleared. Then we just gotta let it sit and dry. Good there. Here. And Rich, you do not want me to switch the pickups in your Buddy Gowan, right? You want the black pick guard you bought with the black pickups, correct? Yeah. Well, okay. So what do you want me to do with the other pick guard then? Just ship it back to you? Or I can end up putting in one of those Tease strats. Keep it. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Rich, I know. The whole thing on yours was whenever, take your time, and I understand that. But still, it's been so long. Obviously the issue with my dad passing, and then the stupid rainy weather. I got no control over that, but I still feel bad. It's like, man, should have had that back by now, enjoying it. Same way with C. Oh, and CC's. Get this. Um, I took it out just 2 days ago to do the final two coats of clear on it, and I sprayed it, and it looked beautiful. And then within a minute, I don't know what the hell got on that guitar. It all the clear that I just put on it the other day, 2 days ago, just crinkled up. So I got to sand all that back down and figure out what the hell got on that guitar. I can't for the life of me. I don't know what happened because it's been sitting here on the painting fixture. So I don't know if uh, the only thing I can think of is maybe when I was buffing or waxing some of the other ones, that some of that got on it. But I wiped it down before I sprayed it and tacked. I wiped it down, cleaned it, and excuse me, and then did the tack rag, and I started putting a clear on it, and I was like, man, this looks so good. And then all of a sudden, right before my eyes, I'll get it. I'll show you. I'm sick. Hopefully, I just sand the clear down. Hopefully, I don't have to sand it down and repaint the thing. I'm thinking it's just a clear. Hold on. Back. This just makes me freaking sick. Sick to no end. Look. It's like perfect there. And then it just started wrinkling. And it's just in the clear, so hopefully I can sand all that off. Because it like, are you kidding me? And it's weird because it's like right there is smooth, there's smooth, and here is smooth, and then it just. So CC, if you see this, this is obviously my fault. Something was on it, but I did wipe it down with the degreaser first, like I always do every time I ever paint anything, and then a tack rag, and I started laying it on there, and it looked perfect, and then all of a sudden, it just started crinkling like that. So it's been 2 days. So when I get back Sunday, I'm going to start sanding it, see if I can just sand that all down. Because I mean, but it didn't do it here. Look how nice that looked. That was a candy apple red that I did that bass guitar in. So it just I don't know. It made me sick, man. I almost I just felt like crying. But hopefully I can sand it down, and then I'll scrub it down good again and try another 2 coats of clear. This guitar had dents all over, and back here, like here, 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 and over here, it was literally cracked. So I did glue. I ran some CA glue in there, clamped the body, let it sit, then sanded it all down, then did some sanding sealer over it, then the primer, and then the filler on top of that. I was saying this. So once I get all this done, it'll be completely primed again. That way, that whatever color it ends up being is all uniform. It won't be light and dark spots, even though it'd be the same color. So, yeah, James. The only thing I can figure is because I had that sitting behind me. Wait, I mean, you guys. I'll show you. It was on the painting fixture, sitting right there. And the only thing I can figure is when I was cleaning and buffing another guitar, some of it must have got on it. But again, I wiped it down like I always do with the degreaser, and then ran a tack rag over it, and it went on fine. I was like, man, it's like looking like glass. And then right before my eyes, it just started sprinkling. Oh, you make it sick. So that's the only thing I can figure. No matter what happened, my fault. So the only thing I can do is sand it down and fix it. Dane did send me a couple. I thought about making it a Zimm's guitar. Somehow doing the logo big. But I'm not that good with an airbrush, so not yet anyhow. Um, yeah, you can't even feel that stuff. Here's what I'm using, James. 3M acrylic glazing. Love this stuff. So yeah, well, that's the only thing I can figure is get wax or something. Something got on it from cleaning or doing one or the other. So from now on, the thing is not to repeat the mistake. So from now on, whenever I do any uh, the rubbing compound or buffing with the wax, there will be nothing around here that that needs painted. It's going to get that can get on it and mess it up. So, before you guys got here, Dane had sent me. Geiker sent him this nice bridge. Got the wheels on it, the rolling wheels, adjustable. And he's like, "Go ahead and put that on it." So yeah, okay, because it's obviously hardtail. Thought sure, no problem. Until I did this. There's the new post to come with that bridge. Look. So what I'm going to do is go to Lowe's tomorrow, and I got to get some half-inch dowel rod, fill this up. Then I'll, obviously cut it, sand it down, re-drill it, and drill through it so I can run the ground wire in, and then on the bridge that's powder coated, I'm going to scrape some of the black off of it, and then halfway wrap inside there with copper tape, so the wire hits the tape, spreads it out, and it'll go around here because I want it to be, I don't want any hum from this thing. So, but it's going to have that upgraded bridge. That's good. He said he got this from Geiker, and he didn't have anything to use it for, so he sent it to me, and I got it today with a couple of decals. Because all these guitars I got from him, I never did get any decals. I only had one that Laz sent me about a year ago, and it's actually on the pegboard right back here. So Dane called me up last week and said he would send me this new bridge. I can use it. I asked him for a couple decals. He did. Yeah, he did. It's nice. I mean, I like the adjustability. I like the wheel, the wheel for the strings to roll on. Much nicer, more contact space. Believe it or not, because before you're like on a knife edge, your string's laying on a knife edge pretty much. And with that, it's probably 4 times or 5 times more of the string area laying on it, and it rolls a lot nicer. Helps keep it in tune. So this is definitely going to be an 80s style paint job. You don't feel it. You see it, you don't feel any of it. And this 3M glaze, this stuff paints so nice over top the painting over top of it. I never did like red spot putty, but for a long time that's all I had to use. So you use what you have. Then when I got my first bottle of this and first tube of this in 1990, I was like, oh my god, like the answer to the prayers. Oh, something else. My wife had ordered this. She got laid off. Yes, she got laid off last week. Well, this Thursday will be 2 weeks. DeWalt. It's kind of neat, and you left tight, loose, and put it in the middle, and you just do it by hand. I'm a big DeWalt tool fanatic, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was working out, when I was doing welding and fitting, um, you build stuff, and it would have to go to like oil rigs. or some of the stuff, went to like uh, skyscraper construction. So every now and then I had to go to the job site and check it out. And I saw DeWalt fall 2, 3, 4, 5 stories, hit the ground. They shoved the battery back in it and it kept working. And that sold me on DeWalt, and I've been a DeWalt guy ever since. Now here's a bit of news, and it kind of upsets me that I'm leaving Thursday because I won't have time to mess with it. But Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, my 3D printer, the stuff came today for it. The filament, there's black, like a blue, kind of like a blue purple. This is kind of like, it's supposed to be red, but it's more orangish red. And you may be asking why I got this. No, I didn't pay for it. My mother did. She heard me talk about it. But I'll be able to make now any kind of like a little, like if I need to, if I make another guitar, a active guitar, and I don't want to route out the body to put this in it, I'll be able to 3D print holder to screw on the inside to hold the battery. I'll be able to 3D print knobs, pickup rings, even tuner pegs, custom colors, everything. And I'll be able to make that Fretzler a little bit better. And and also I'm going to make, let's see. And he donated his blue Kramer for me to rebuild, give it to some kid or somebody. And obviously, you want to put a Floyd. Obviously, I put Floyd Roses on everything I can. So I can put this in a jig, come with a router it off. Or now with that 3D printer, I'll actually be able to make. It'll be flat to go straight in here, but angled on that down along the neck, the dip here, the angle. So when you put it in place, it'll be flat, no routing, and you'll be able to mount a Floyd Rose locking nut. I can make those. I got ideas for this guitar. And actually, some of the tools, um, some of the specialty tools that while I'm working on stuff, thinking, damn, if I had something like this, and I look, and they either don't have it, no one makes it, or if StuMac makes it, it's ungodly pricey. So now I'll be able to make my own for things I need. And then, if you guys start getting into car repair, I can make some for you guys. It's endless what I'm going to be able to do with this thing. And it'll be here Wednesday, and I'm leaving Thursday morning. So, it'll be, I'm not going to have long, and I've never messed with a 3D printer. So, find out. But, I do have, I did graduate college with engineering, AutoCAD. So, like, I can figure it out pretty easy. So, I'll be able to make specialty tools. There's got, and I this is one I have. The fret bending, bend your fret wire. I've seen guys made these out of 3D printed, and they work perfect. So again, there's not pretty much anything that you can't. That left. I used to get my Diodarios in the straight pack, and we get 25 sets at a time, and they were all together. That's all I got left out of all that. Out of probably 150 pack. I got 4 green, 3 red. I need to buy some cheaper, expensive up front. 5 packs, $100 buying it. So spending $100 on, by the time you buy, depending on which ones you get, buy 10 regular packs, singles, and you'll have as much as it is for the 25 pack. So that's what I used to always buy till I ran out of money. So yeah, and I'll be able to make all kind of things. My buddy Jed, I had 2 of these that came with the StewMac fixture. He's like, wait a minute, and I gave him one. He went and made me 5 of these. So now I have to make a holder. I got to attach a board on the workbench, the other workbench, with pipe fits in here, sticking up, so I can, after I do more than one at a time, I can just have them all in place, they can all dry. Yeah, this green 3M stuff works beautifully. Oh, and I had ordered a it was a 6 or 8 tray sandpaper, so you put the different grits. And it was this size. They were all this size, not the sheet. And I canceled that order. Now I can make one. And I can custom there. But hey, I'll be able to make pick guards and picks, believe it or not. Knobs, potentiometer knobs, the freeway switch knobs, all that, and I'll be able to do them all custom colors, you name it. It'll all be yeah. I'm going to make the adapter so you don't have to route out if you don't want to for a Floyd Rose locking nut. Yeah, Peggy, I did download a program. Someone already had one where they made them, and they made like extra heavy duty ones, and the ones that hold just acoustics. And I downloaded both. The files are free. I downloaded both files, and people's like, they don't care if you download it, just don't make money off of it. That one. I actually have another one. I cut it in half, but it's out in the garage. Oh, there. It has a little give to it, but not much, and it works. For me, it works fine. Yeah, I saw that stand MPN. That's not an issue. Hell, I saw where guys were making full bodies for RC cars. And what was cool, I used to build models years ago. Actually, I haven't done one since probably 30 years. But I used to belong to a model club. And the last one I did, the club had a model show. There was like, I don't know, 500 people at the thing. And the project was a 55 Chevrolet truck. And everybody in the club got the same model and built it however you wanted it. And I did mine. I wish I still had it. But I didn't use the model bed. I used the frame, did the frame, and then I made a bed out of balsa wood, stained it, and then used real little nails so it looked like it had metal holding it in, like it was bolted down. Then I used real thick soldering wire, like this right here, the real thick stuff. Might even been thicker than this, and cut it on an angle, and then took that little drill I got and drilled out in about quarter inch or so it looked like it was hollow. And that was my custom exhaust, because you can bend it however you needed it. And then cleaned it up with some 4/0 steel wool. So I had custom exhaust, and then obviously the motor, I had the little wires I cut and glued. It just looked like it was it looked like a real little miniature truck. And hey, you know what? I may give these away Wednesday on Johnny's show. I don't use those. So yeah, I did that and everything, and then I saw I was watching some videos on this printer, and a guy said something about it. His work wonders for his models, and here he's 3D printing the motors for the model cars, and the damn thing looks freaking real. Like, wow, I never thought about that. There's so much you can do with this. It's unbelievable. I love this stuff. 3M, man, killer stuff. And something I also said at the very beginning of this, and I think MPN was probably the only one here at that time. This on my Chapman guitar, it has a binding, or at least I thought it did. What it is, it's painted. It's just a tan, like a tan pinstripe going around the body. This is actual binding. And there's a little gap between the binding and the rest of the body. Here, you might be able to see it up there a little better. I thought about filling it in with that 3M stuff. And then I thought, well, no, if I do that, somehow that gets nicked, it might just start flaking away. So it's going to be, you're not going to see the binding. It's going to be painted the same color guitar, but you're going to see that binding line all the way around. Yeah, this is something. I want this guitar to be really, really special for Dane. I really do. Michael, hello. I want it to be really special. I know Billy Ray's wants to buy it, and if I hope he does get it, but after it's up for a while. There. Don't feel it. So yeah, and that printer, it's if I was to have it sitting right here, what I'm guessing, it would probably go from here to here, and probably the same distance that way, and it's probably 22, 24 inches tall. But I have a dedicated little table out in the garage I'm going to bring in here, and I'll have that attached to that. What I was thinking about doing, and nothing for functionality of the guitar, just basically be looks. I thought about taking that green glaze and see how crappy, even though I got that clean down there, see all the gaps and stuff, and I thought about going ahead and just glazing all that and sanding it down so it looks smooth inside there. So when he takes the cover off, it's like, damn, that's, because I always try to run, each time I wire one up, I try to do it better than the last one. And I thought if it looked good, like I said, whoever ends up, probably be Billy Ray, but whoever ends up with it, I will sign it. I'll probably sign it in here underneath the battery box, and then sign it here too. And on the neck, I taped the neck. Unlike the last guitar Dane had done, someone did. They painted all the neck inside the neck pocket. He literally had to scrape all that out. I don't know why they did that. I always masked that off. So I usually sign there and date it when it was painted. So yeah, I have a table out in the garage. It was like one of those. It's not the Black and Decker Workmate because those fold, but it's about the size of one of those. This printer should fit on it probably pretty damn close actually, if not exact. But pick holders, cup holders, knobs, all kind of stuff. I'll be able to make all that. It'd be nice to kind of design my own style pickup rings, and it comes with about half a roll. See how big this roll is? It goes clear down. I got 3 of these in that red, blue, and black, and it comes with one that's like a. Well, it's like that. I'll show you. I got it down. The skull that he got from Johnny sent me from Rocket Gear. It's like a purple, like a multicolor purple. That's the color that comes with the machine, but it's about half the spool. The sample cup, Peggy. The specimen cup. So this earlier I said it. This stuff has been. I did go over it with the shielding paint, the military grade shielding paint. See right there, but since then it's got primer on it. Once I get this guitar painted and cleared, I will go over it again shielding paint. Here, obviously all of this. And then I will also use the copper foil tape. Then I'll just sign the copper foil tape there, and there. And then sign the neck plate, date it. Done. So, not that I'm anybody that, signature is going to make any difference. What the hell? No. Well, thank you, Peggy. Yeah, so I'll be able to make pick holders, all kind of stuff. Accessories for the soldering iron. And I was surprised at how one guy I don't know how much I would trust this, but it showed him hauling a boat with a 3D printed hitch or the ball and tongue. He made the 3D printed ball and tongue, put it in his regular hitch, and was hauling a bass boat down the street. I don't know how much I would trust that, but he did it. I mean, even if it only lasted a mile, that's still pretty damn strong. So it's not going to have any problem holding guitar or tools. Like I said, the option now to make the custom tools that I need that no one makes is going to make all the difference in the world. And I started using, again, I'm always trying to improve my work. I was using solid core wire for in here when I did all the wiring, and I still do when it's needed. But I ended up getting this. It's cloth coated, but it's like a waxed cloth coated, and it's kind of solid core inside already tinned all the way through. It's the same stuff Gibson uses. I found some on Amazon. It's like $20 for these 3 spools. So I'm all, I want it to be quality. That's I don't want to, because I've always said this, and I know this from painting cars and motorcycles and guitars in the past. I don't care if I did 500 that won a guitar show at NAMM. Wow, they're going to finish on that. And I put one out that's not so good. Guess which one they're going to talk about? The one that's not so good. So I'm constantly trying to make each one better than the last. And all because I know, years ago, I've said it before, years ago, didn't have any money, and save up to get something, and then that something was crap. Then you have to save up again and buy something better. So I just, someone buys something for me or pays for me to do something, it's going to be quality work. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I refuse to half-ass anything. And CC's guitar is going to take a little longer now. That sucks. But between Johnny and Laz, I think they had his guitar for almost 3 years between the two of them. 1 year with Johnny and 2 years with Laz, or vice versa, whatever it was. I've had it for 5 months, 6 months, so I still got time. But I do want to get it done for him. I do want to get it done. I want to get Rich's polka dot one done. You can enjoy it. You guys, and I mean, I know it may sound corny, but I've actually, when it comes to you guys in the chat, meeting you all in Johnny's chat, and I thank Johnny for bringing me on board like he did and having me here. Hopefully that continues. But I feel like I've known a lot of you guys almost my whole life. That's what it seems like. And I don't mind, helping out if I can, answering questions if I can, whatever it takes. This pretty much is ready for a coat of primer. I'll check it one more time for any nicks or dents. Then I'll just sand it down, and then side on the paint. So I got time. I mean, I'm done with it right now, but oh, Rich, are you still here? What body is that? That is a Schecter C1 hardtail. So we need. It's had a big crack in it. That's fixed. Glued, fixed. So it is a. Oh, I got it covered up. Yeah, it's Schecter. I got a new decal for it. I'll be putting on also. The decal is in gold, which is what the original decal was. Now I'll be painting the headstock to match the guitar. But stand out regardless. Messed that up. I sand it now. Yeah, it says Schecter Guitar Research. Uh, Rich, you'll be interested to know is I having problems with that micro. I know nothing about microphones, but I took it apart, cleaned everything up. A couple places of solder. It was still soldered, but the soldering job didn't look that good. So I resoldered it, and then used the electronic cleaner. Should have waited till my hands dried before I tried to put it back on. Yeah, and put it all back together. Now it's working a lot better than it was. I've never ever done that before. Never worked on a microphone. So it's back over at the desk, and then the old one is still the other one I had here. I've been using for the last week over on the desk is now back over here. So yeah, I figured. I mean, it was noisy. It was still well. Actually, when I brought it over here and hooked up, it didn't work at all. So I figured I can't hurt it. And I was hoping what would happen is I'd open it up and I'd find just a busted wire or something, and there wasn't any. I mean, it was dirty, dusty, and then like two of the solder joints, they were still soldered, but they just didn't look like they were soldered very well. Looked like someone who was learning how to solder did it. So I just heated them up, added some more solder to it, little flux in there, and hit it. Went sucked right down on there, and I put it back together and figured, well, if it doesn't work, it didn't work when I tried it, or it didn't work last time I had it over here. I plugged it in. I was like, oh. So now I tested it yesterday, and where before I had to have it, I had to have it on that angle, clear up against the side, touching so it didn't hum. Now I can have it like it's supposed to be, and it's working. So I even got a new black cover for it. I'm not afraid. I mean, that's my dad was the same way. He just Just tried it. Pretty much anything's fixable. I took my mom down to the graveyard today, about 20 minutes from here. It was sad to see her standing there. She had been with him since she was 17 years old. And they got a plaque for him that's almost size of this mat right here, as they're deciding on an actual tombstone. And it's heavy. It's marble, and it's probably 2.5 inches, 3 inches thick. But it's etched with his photo. It looks just like him, and it's got the sayings on it and all that stuff. It's just flat. Well, the graveyard wouldn't do that. They only would do the tombstone. So I had to go down and dig out the hole and put that plaque on my own father's grave, and that sucked. It wasn't an easy thing to do, but I did it. I just I have his obituary laminated. The funeral home did, and I have it here on the. So he's always watching what I'm doing, because I'm using all these Craftsman. I got 4 of these, same exact ones, and I got the hook one. Like loops on the wiring to hang it. That's all. That was his stuff, and that's all his. And this bench, even though it's just like Johnny's, Dad had this for about 5 years, well, 6 years actually, and all he got to do was literally junk the doors up with just random, nothing put away, and then all this happened to him, so he never got to. Then when I went up and got the IROC, I told him, hey, but she had bought it for him for Christmas. I said, it's just sitting up there. It's a mess, covered, tools all in it, just strung. Nothing's organized. I said, I'm going to empty it out, clean it up, bring it down here. And I said, I'm going to use it. So I'm putting Dad's obituary thing at the home gave us, laminated on the wall. His bench, he's right there watching, and I'm using some of his tools. That's why this is here. I've had some people text me and say, you got a bench like Johnny. Are you doing copying him? No. My dad's had this for years, like 6 years. And why would I copy? What the hell does that even matter, first off? That was someone who was only in the chat like 2 or 3 shows, and he'd never come back. But yeah, I thought it might have been one of the other people Johnny had on the show at some point, trying to stir some crap between him and I. So they didn't like my answer. I'm like, why would I even want to do that? It's a freaking bench. And then I never heard back from them, and they've never been back on the show or in the show. Oh yeah. So the headstock is going to match the guitar, however it ends up being painted. Don't feel it. See it? Don't feel it. And it's got the Schecter tuners. It's not a locking nut. There's no tremolo whatsoever. It's a hardtail. That at all. Nothing. Well, so they made the comment like I was trying to copy Johnny with the same bench as him. No, and why would I even care to do that? I got nothing to prove to anybody. I got nothing to hide. I sit here and show you guys what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I don't sit there and say, oh wait, hold on, I'll get this first, then I'll show you when it's done. Screw that. I honestly believe I'm here to help, however I can help. And if it's with guitars or wiring or tremolos or paint, then that's what I'll do. Mr. Mick, hello. Oh yeah, and I really do. I swear to God, I enjoy you guys in the chat. I know it sounds corny, and you probably think, "What an asshole," but I do consider you guys friends. Now, Skyprop is only 50 minutes from me, so at some point in time, him and I are going to go to Purgatory. MPN is only in the next state over, but it's still like 5 hours away. So maybe someday, MPN, we can meet like halfway between here and where you're at. Meet somewhere in the middle for lunch for a day or something. Find a cool place to go. Rich flew from California over here to Cleveland, and we were hung out for a day, and he's coming back. And we're going to hit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame again, maybe the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and up to the store. And, yeah, Philly cheesesteak, yeah. Billy Ray, when I do get out to Dane's store to see him, I'll let you know. You better be there. And then I can meet you, Dane, Rock Daddy. Hopefully, Laz had talked about coming over here, and maybe him and Johnny will come here. So I have no problem meeting anybody. It's just I'm here. I'm a friend. I'm not here to try to. Well, see, they didn't know me from Adam when I first got on Johnny's show, and I've said this before, but how I got on the show was kind of funny. I was just scrolling through their YouTube one day, and I saw this thing that said Kramer time, talking guitars, Kramer time. And I thought, well, I'll sit and watch it. Well, then Johnny's like, hey, anybody got any good pictures of guitars? The more you got, the better, or something like that. He goes, text him in this number. So I started texting him in just loads of pictures. So then he's on the show showing them, saying, hey, you need to come on the show and talk. So I was on that following weekend, and I've been on ever since. So when he tells you to send photos in, do it. That's how I got on there. But when I first got on, Laz had warned Johnny, thought, because they hadn't heard of me at all, and unless you were in the shooting world, competition shooting, most people didn't hear of me or the band from 30 years ago, 35 years ago, no, 30 years ago. So Laz told Johnny, be careful. I'm probably there just try to get my name out there, in Johnny's crowd, then break off and do my own thing. And I'm in my third year with Johnny now, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy for the opportunity that he's given me to be on his show, and it is his show. I don't own any part of it. I don't control any part of it. I'm just a person he sends the link to, so I can be on it with him. But I don't plan on doing a show like that. This right here at the bench would be the only thing I do. And then, like I said, I'm not going to be here Friday and Saturday, or at least not here at the bench anyhow. I might be able to do it from my phone, but I'm not going to be able to work on anything. I'll just be sitting talking. And I thought, well, you know what? I got to work on Dane's guitar, so I'll try the StreamYard thing. Again, still don't know what I'm doing. I had to hit the go live. I don't know how many times. Mr. Mick, I'm glad you like your floating tremolo. They're not. I mean, I can see where they're intimidating for people. I really can. And once you learn them, once you get over that initial fear, then it's okay. Now, a lot of people will tell you change one string at a time. Okay, I get it. If you're deathly afraid of them, like Alex, that Kelly I just did for Alex, the strings on that thing, I'll post pictures again tomorrow night or Wednesday. They were nothing but rust because he had not changed those strings in 4 years because he was scared to death of messing that Floyd Rose up. So I understand where that comes from. But once you do it a couple times, then you start getting the hang of it. And I've been doing it for 40 years, a little over 40 years. So I can pretty much do it blindfolded now. And half of it, or not half of it, but part of it's getting rid of some of the factory parts, like that stupid shim. Toss that away, and then upgrade to it with at least stainless parts, and you're good to go. And as long as you got it set right, oiled where it needs to be oiled, and got quality parts, it'll last you. Cole, my son Cole, his main guitar is his Schecter C1, and it's got it's active pickup, and it's got a Sustainiac in it, and it's got a Floyd Rose 1000. Came on at factory, and that guitar is 11 or 12 years old, and he won't even let me upgrade it. He's under the thing, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's because he doesn't know how to do any of that stuff. But it took me 45 minutes to get one of the original string blocks out one time because the block cracked after 11 years. So I think I did put stainless string blocks in it. That's it. Nothing else. And it's still going strong. 11 or 12 years of him playing and beating on that tremolo. I mean, if you guys listen to any of his music, you'll hear he plays a tremolo a lot. Just go look up the official Faith and Failure on YouTube, and you'll hear him. And that's a Floyd Rose 1000, and it works perfect. Good, Mr. Mick. And yeah, that shim is stupid. But and I understand the Vega trim. It's to me, it'll never replace a Floyd, but that's just me. But I will say this. Like that red Leo Jams, thank you, Bay Area Rich. The kit that we built, Johnny built the gold one, and then I think he did 2 strats. I had the red one. I don't want to route I mean, I could route the body out, put a Floyd on it, but I don't want to do that. But I see the benefit of the Vega trim over the factory Fender style tremolo. Matter of fact, I have Rich's Vega trim right here. It just came in. This is going on Rich's Buddy Guy, red with white polka dots. So this Vega trim is going on that guitar, and Rich was generous enough to donate the tremolo that was on it, and then the other one he bought because it was the 6-point contact instead of 2. So this, I didn't even take this out yet. So this is how they're made. Okay, and this is the 2-point. So you have to use, it's neat how they did it. You have to use the studs that came with the Strat, and then where the original Strat has the cap, the screw goes in it with the pivot place. This actually has an adapter. So what you do is you still use that same mounting system, and then you put this in. So this screws into here, like so. Get it down in there. So, and then they give you the 2 screws. Oh, I best we just do this. They give you the 2 screws that go through here into this. So it's threaded to go into the mount, and it's also threaded on the inside to allow the screws to go in. There you go. Then that's in the body. And then the Vega trim itself, you see that little slot, here and here. Those little slots fit right in there, and just like that. So I can see the value of this. Now, this has not been adjusted for intonation or anything. It's just, you just saw me unwrap it here. Got your Allen wrenches, both post, and the bar goes with it. So one thing I found out, and let's see, from CC's, which apparently I'm going to get to use it a little bit longer since I got to reclear that guitar. That's not why that happens. I promise. You can. So if you buy a lot of strings, it's worth it to buy the 25 pack. So here's what's really cool about it. Found this out. String goes in, people think, like on your regular tremolo it would go in here. Well, your spring goes in here and here. Then you have this little Allen screw here, tightens up against the spring, so you don't have to worry about the string popping out. Then you stick this through here, and it can go like that. Doesn't matter. At least I thought it didn't, but I'd never done one of these before when I got that first one from when I put it on that CC's, and I put it on there. So I put all the strings in that way, where the barrel was straight, all in a row. Man, that thing did not go out of tune. I mean, that helps it. You don't have them like that sideways. Make them stand. Just turn them when you pull them in there, and as you start tightening the string, the string on the tuner peg, just make sure they're in there that way. Because then I got to looking at it, and that's cut out to fit that way. So if you look at that, that's a perfect fit. And that just helped. I mean, it was amazing anyhow, no locking nut. It stayed in tune. But doing it that way, it's like crap. It does not go out of tune. So there's a hint for Vega trims. If you're going to use them, put the ball in like that, in with the groove. So, what I was saying, I don't want to route that body out. I'll get it, set it up. This thing is actually Fender now than it is Leo Jams. Mr. Mick, here's your 2009 made in Mexico Fender thing. Rich, thank you. Rich donated the neck off the one that's becoming the red polka dot, or the red with white polka dot. And here's Cece's Vega trim. So Fender, Bender, Bender. The guitar, the only thing that's not Fender now is just the body and the Vega trim. But so I don't want to route this out. I could. There's an imperfection in the paint that's factory because it's got the factory paint over the like a dent or something right there. And I could route it out, Floyd, and that would go away. But I don't want to do that. I want to keep it like a Strat, but better. So I actually see the benefit of a Vega trim. I would love to have a Vega trim on everything I have that has this style trim that I don't want to route out and put a. I'm still a Floyd guy. I always will be. Matter of fact, I got this sent to me. There's cloth, cleaning cloth. It's big too. Look at this. So, but you know, like, believe it or not, the Sandoval has a Fender Strat, and that guitar, a combination of a Gibson Les Paul and a Strat. It's got 6 inline tuners like the Strat. It's got the Fender style Strat tremolo, but it's got the wiring configuration of a Les Paul. So I would love to get one, leave on this one, because this would make someone very happy. But I would love to also put one on the Sandoval. Believe it or not. So you can see the difference. This is a 6-point. You get 4 screws, just screw in the 6 for the 6 holes. Where this one is a 2. Now I'm new to Vega trim, okay? But I'm going to say you probably could have got away and just put the 2 screws in and left 4 open. I don't know. That may work. It may not work. But with the post, you know, got them, use them, and they send you the stuff just to make it work. So why not just do it that way? But I would have to get a 6, one like this, 6-point for the Sandoval, and obviously a 6-point for this one, because this is CC, that's not mine. He was kind enough to let me put it on here and use it till I was ready to put it on his guitar, and so it's going to be a little bit longer now since I got to redo here. But there you go. I don't want to route this out, and I see Carl Sandoval is now making the dots the same guitar, but with a Floyd. People want a Floyd on it. Randy never had a Floyd. So even though this isn't a Floyd either, or a Fender, it still looks pretty much, you know, original. In other words, if you see a Floyd on it, you know that's not original on the Sandoval. So I would like to get one. I need to get 2. This one and then one for that. Because I really don't want to put the regular Fender one back on. I mean, they don't work as good as this. So remember, when you do it, put the ball end of the string in the channel. That lets if you look at it, think about it for a minute. So if I'm like that, okay, that string going into there isn't where it could be. So if you turn it the right way, you're getting that all the way up in there, and that channel grooved out like that kind of locks that in place. So, and I found out because after I figured that out, I loosened them up and kind of turned them. You know, I had a couple same way and some sideways. And believe it or not, sustainability sounded better when they were the right way. The sustain on the guitar increased when they were like that. All of them were like that because you got full contact. The barrel is completely in contact with everything, and the string is as far up into that as it could go. So, yeah, want better sound, better. That's the way to do it. And if you buy a lot of strings, Billy Ray, you got 16 guitars. Buy the 25 pack for 100. Well, I think it's $109 now. 119. It's 25 D'Addario sets. They come in a big box, and it's just looped like this inside, like a looks like wire loom on a car, and you just take it out. I just took it out and let it hang on the wall. They stayed straight. Billy's probably at work. So, to stop any rumors before they even start, no, I'm not breaking away from Johnny and doing my own thing. I hope he realizes that too. But again, I'm retired. I don't have anything to do except sit down here and work on guitars. And I like all you guys chat. So I figured when I'm not on Johnny's show, when he's not like on Mondays, he doesn't have one. So I figured maybe on Mondays, if I have a guitar working, which usually I do, even if it's tuning up my own, I'll have one here, and then I'll go live like this on Mondays. Usually do a Tuesday, Wednesday, then last Thursday, then Friday and Saturday. That only leaves Sunday and Monday. Figured I'd just do a Monday thing at 9 o'clock. Just this, and anybody wants to join in, let me know. I'll send you the link. More than happy to be a co-host like I am for Johnny. Actually, I think it'd be fun to have fun right now. Uh, with everything that happened with my wife, I can't afford to buy the subscription. Plus, I don't know how to use it anyhow. Like I said, I hit play, go live. I don't know how many times before it finally did. Kept asking me questions about this and that. And I had no idea how to answer them. I just kept hitting continue. So, oh, that's right. Hold on, Billy. Let me look. Ah, there you go, Billy. That's cool looking. That is. Hmm. That's an idea. I won't show it because I don't want to. Get a notification something coming. coming from Texas. That is. So, yeah, that's pretty cool, Billy. That is. Like, so I again, getting back to the Vega trim, I can see the benefit of Vega trim. Don't want to route out body for whatever reason, whether you don't want to mess the paint up, which you don't. The trick to that is to cover it with the painter's tape and just route the tape, and it never it's a nice clean surface paper. It doesn't chip out the paint or the body anywhere else, as long as you got nice good router bits. Um, or if you're afraid to route it out, or you don't have the templates, that's a good option. Does it do everything the Floyd does? No. I mean, yeah, you can pull it back some, but not as much. I mean, my Floyd like back quite a bit. And you have the option, the benefit of not using the locking nut. Um, so I see the value in this. I really do, and I will eventually have one on here and one on the Sandoval, just for those reasons. Matter of fact, that's the only two I have that have this style trim load. They're either hardtail or Floyd. I only have two. It had Defender style trim. So I only need, well, three counting the Bengal one, Bengal Tiger West Creek one that Rich. Thank you, Rich. But I do think I'm going to route that one out. That one just screams 80s Floyd. So still, we're back to this one and the Sandoval, and the Sandoval obviously will stay here. This one will end up going to somebody. Yeah, when that special needs, I keep wanting to say kid, but he is 18. He just turned 18. Uh, when he saw that Epiphone of Riches that I ended up giving him, he was nonverbal, but he like whistled, did a lot of whistling, and his dad's like, oh, he loves that. That means he loves it. So he understands. He can't speak, but he understands. So he's going to start taking lessons. And dad has custody, and first was messy, and dad's got. I got called. I had any. That's giving gift of music, and thank you, Rich, for making that happen. And all you guys, MPN, Mr. Mick, Greasy Monkey, Laz, Torson, all you guys have donated parts. I am amazed. Thank you guys so much. I don't mean it. I know sometimes you hear stuff like that, you think, oh God, whatever. But I've been doing this for years, and I did it by myself for a long time. Like I said before, I would go to a pawn shop, buy, go in there, and they got $150 guitars, and I like pick two or three of them, say, what do you take for all of them? These two or these three. They usually cut me a price deal, and I'd come home, rebuild them, and I'd give those out. And I was buying the parts myself and everything. But once I tired on and I just can't do that anymore. So now I got to rely on you. Really do. So it's not like these guitars, I have somebody every day that's ready for one, but it's nice now, again, being able to have a couple here ready to go. Say, hey, what do you want? Usually, what I'll do if I'm just hearing it in the beginning, I'll text a photo to whoever I'm dealing with. Say, like this one, or this one. Go for it. Or before it was like I'd hurry up and try to find one and get it. That's like the one guy had the choice between the one from Rich and the one from Greasy Monkey, but he wanted the solid body. Les Paul, so he went with that one. So I thank you guys. I mean, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I really do. Like this, I put this on here for Mr. Mick. This old bridge set ready to go. My God, the sound, Fender stuff. Like I said, the only thing that's not Fender on this now is just the body. And quite frankly, the body's probably just as good, if not better, than some of these Fender bodies. I even put the back plate on it. Fender back. Yeah, this is sweet. I love it. I'm actually going to hate getting rid of this one because I love the sound of it. But I do want to do another jam skit. I want to do the gold one like Johnny's, but that one I don't want to get rid of. I love that with the gold, the mirrored gold pick guard, gold pickups, gold body. That looks so good. I'm going to hate getting rid of those Tease guitars too, especially the blue one. Oh wait, let me grab that. And you remember last time I had it's like still getting buzz on or the same note on a couple of them. After I got all that fixed, uh, Brett's done everything. Look at the action on this. This thing, and there's no buzz. Hard to do with gloves. Thought I had a hard time holding it. No buzz whatsoever. Low action. Freaking thing sounds great. Plays unbelievable. Got to finish off the neck. I mean, this thing is. A guy was here yesterday, a friend of mine, and I said, "Hey," he saw this sitting there, but he's like, "Hey, is that a Fender Tele?" I was like, "Hey, you got to try this." So I said, "Do me a favor, close your eyes." So he sat down in the chair and I handed it to him. I said, "Tell me what you think of this." And he sat there and played it for about 3 or 4 minutes. He's like, "Dude, that has got to be the best Fender Tele custom I've ever played." And I started laughing. I said, "Open your eyes." He's like, "What the hell is a Tease?" I said, "It's under $300 guitar." He couldn't believe it. He was like shocked. He thought this was like a $3,000 custom Fender. This thing plays unbelievable, crazy. So I called this pick guard. It's supposed to be a chrome pick guard, and all it is like silver foil over top, the clear, and it had scratches in it. So I called Amazon, and they're supposed to send me another one. But the guy's like, "Man, the neck frets." He said, "That thing, this is." He's like, "Wow, that's unbelievable." Then I had him open his eyes, and he couldn't believe it. Yeah, Michael B, you're right. I've had uh, I've had some that I almost wanted a double glove on. Yeah, I really think this didn't pass the final inspection because this color is a greenish blue. Although on the camera it looks blue, it really looks completely blue there as opposed to what it really is. It's like a greenish blue. But the headstock is all blue. There's no green in the headstock. So, sitting here and looking at both of them, it's two different colors. I think that's why it didn't pass final inspection. Oh, hard to hold a pick. Oh, by the way, I'll give a couple of these away Wednesday. Writing on both sides. One side's green, one side yellow. If I could name it. If I could gloves. It's hard to put gloves on. Ah. Yeah, we were in the band. We were down in southern West Virginia, Berkeley or Beckley, West Virginia, the lowest point of the state. And some guy come up to us because we played when we played back then we played almost 4 hours, and 3 hours was our own original music. There was about an hour's worth of cover tunes, and this guy comes up to us, come up to me actually on the side of the stage, like, "Hey, could you guys play out or over the knob and out yonder?" And I looked at him. I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, that over the knob and out yonder." I said, "I have no idea what you're talking about." He's like, "Yeah, you've heard it, over the knob and out yonder." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "That Zeppelin thing." I said, "You mean over the hill and far away?" That's what I said. I'll never forget. Yeah, this thing, it looks great, plays freaking awesome. Actually, it sounds best in the middle position. You have your basic tinny back sound, and the neck is nice and warm, but it like needs a little bit of treble. Flip it in the middle, the mixture. It's like a perfect mixture between the two. That's where I keep it 90% of the time in the. So apparently, if anybody ever tells you to play over the knob and out yonder, they're talking about over the hill and far away. So out of the blue. Yeah, I am completely amazed. This one plays better than the Hollow Flash one. Now, Torsten sent this one and the other Strat, the Droid Rose Strat, and these are two for me to read, whatever they needed, and then to giveaways. He still did not send me the one on the Hollow Flash. It's got to be a black body, but I have silver and gold Hollow Flash now, so I can do a combination of the. And I'll give you so you fresh your memory. I don't know how well you can. So I still don't know if he's sending a telly, Strat or the new one they're designing with just the one pickup and the one knob, hardtail, to do this on. But whatever it is, it's got to be black. But I'll have this silver on it. This is actually a silver color flash. It changes these colors, and I have a gold, which also changes different colors, and I can do a combination of both on that one. That one will be one that he will be either selling or auctioning off on the Tease website. Mr. Mick, I got your strap on here. Marzio, clip. Thank you, sir. So both these tellies will end up going to somebody. I thought about putting a mirrored on here, but that'd be too much. I like the contrast. So, yeah, I mean, this is, so this one and the other one will end up with somebody eventually. Then two strats end up someone eventually. And whatever else person sends, because he said he's going to keep sending guitars for this purpose from now on, and parts. So between all you guys, wow, thank you so much. And what I like about this now, because of being on the show and getting the workbench over here set up, ready to go, now I can actually do the work, or most of the work, for these guitars. So not only when they're given away to the person, I can say, hey, go back to this date on this channel, and you'll see that guitar being worked. Like I know to me, when I was a kid, and someone would have me and said, hey, you can go here and watch it being built or fixed or whatever, I'd have loved that. Yes, Mr. Mick, I do. I can show you a couple on here. Hold on. Collection. Somewhere in here. I don't do the podcast, so I don't have to worry about any continuously talking. I don't do the podcast thing. Don't know how. Don't care. Do it. Hey, let me show you some crackle, Mr. Mick. Come on, turn. There's a crackle. One of them. That was kind of like a lava crackle. Here is a. This one's actually pretty unique. This was a black crackle, white, but it crackled like every possible way to crackle on one guitar. Like if you look up here, you see hardly crackled at all. Then, and down there, it crackled everywhere. And then the funny part was down by the volume knob, where the volume knob would be, it looks like it was worn down from playing, but that's how it cracked. I could not. I mean, there's no two crackles ever alike. That's how that one turned out. My son, these are both my son-in-laws. Then yeah, these are all ones I've painted. Hold on here. I have the last base. Well, I did the two last bases I did. Here's one. She wanted me to do a base for reminiscent of 80s Steve Harris, Iron Maiden. That one. That was originally black. And then it's cool to have a phone with a lot of storage, but it also sucks because you end up putting so much stuff on it you can never find anything. That's not a very good picture of it. That's from the store after he put it all together. Candy apple red on a base. I did left-handed base for a guy. Should have a better. There it is. And it's not painted in the neck. Well, I mean, it's painted, but it's over top tape. That's candy apple red right there. And I begged him not to do that. I said, red, blood red if you want, or red, and I can add sparkle. But please don't make me do candy apple. Dead set on candy apple. And I told him, I said, if something happens to it, it cannot be touched up. I mean, it could be touched up, but see the touch up. The only way to correct it completely is to repaint. Like, oh, that's fine. I'm fine with that. He didn't have it 2 months. And I get this message. Get the message right here. Hey, Ron, the guy that you did the candy apple red paint job for on his base had a mishap. He's wanting to know if you can fix it. I told him, no, not correctly to where you can't tell it ever hurt. Unless we do a whole paint job. He didn't want to do it. And I told him, I said, I told you, don't go with candy. It's not on something you're going to use on a gig. And I learned that with this. I painted this car in 1985. This was my 1980 Tornado. And this was 1985, and I painted it candy blue. And what I did is I removed all the chrome off of it. The chrome molding down the center of the hood, the emblems across the nose, the emblems on the side, across the back, everywhere it said O's or Tornado. So it looked like, I mean, you really couldn't tell between it and the Eldorado because they were the same body style. And I did this in candy blue. Put the old moon hubcaps on it. The engine was all chrome and steel braided hose. Interior was custom blue. And when Beth, my wife, was pregnant with Cole, she was 8 months pregnant with Cole, going to the store, and a guy come around a turn, get this, come around a turn and hit her, took out the quarter panel on the driver's side, got part of the door and the quarter panel. And we repainted it, just painted the quarter panel, and it did not match whatsoever. And the guy had hit her. Wasn't supposed to be driving. He just had one of his arms amputated. He wasn't supposed to be driving yet. He come around the turn, didn't hit the brake, hit her, drove her up over the curb and into a stop sign. So the candy blue didn't match, and it was like $1,200 back then to paint that car, and I wasn't about to pay another $1,200 for more paint and everything else to redo the whole car when the only thing needed was the quarter panel. So ever since then, I have said, hey, I'll paint it if you want it, but it better not be a guitar you're using, because something happens to it, that's how it's going to be. You got a relic guitar then. Because if you touch it up, it's going to look worse than if you just leave it alone. Yeah, and the sad part about that whole thing was that was 87. Cole was born in April of 88, so that was March of 88. And there wasn't all those commercials on TV for the attorneys. So that guy's insurance company kept calling her at the house when I was at work. And he offered to pay all the bills, obviously get the car fixed, any hospital bills, any of that stuff, and then give her $300 extra. Well, she was, at the time when she got hit, she was 18. She didn't know, and I didn't know anything any better. So finally he called one day when I was home, and I answered the phone. He's like, oh, he goes, well, and Cole had been born, and he had a bruise on his forehead. So we told him that, and he's like, oh, well, he goes, well, we'll take care of anything like that. He goes, and we'll give you $1,000. Well, it went from 300 to 1,000. I'm like, okay, cool. And we took it. And then it was about a year later, attorney friend of my dad's, we was telling him about it. He's like, so do you two ever have to work again? We're like, what? And we told him what we did. He's like, oh my God. He goes, you would never had to work again if you'd done this. We didn't know. Did not know. Cole had a big bruise on his forehead. Steve. So yeah, I mean, that was the whole, in the Pittsburgh area, there was, let's see, Egger Schneider. It wasn't until after we got that was done, and we signed the papers for the insurance company. Like 2 or 3 months later, we started seeing commercials where he's like, have you been in an accident? Don't sign anything until we get money for you. And he's pointing at the camera like, damn. So I called him. He's like, did you sign the paper? Yeah, there's nothing we can do now. I'm like, God. Oh, well. But yeah, that was usually my luck. Come in, miss the boat. Yeah, but she was 18. Beth was 18, so I've been with her since she was 17. Well, she was almost 17 when I started dating. I was friends with her brother. And then she had just turned 19. She was 19 for 10 days when Cole was born. Because initially he was late. He was actually due on her birthday, which we thought would be 10 days late. He's been late ever since. So, back to this. So I'm going to I got to go get the right dowel rods, plug the holes on that the Schecter, re-drill them, everything to mount this, and I'm going to use this new Geiger roller bridge. Second. And I do have a Zimm sticker here, and I got one up there to put on something yet. So, yeah, James, live and learn. So we've just had our 38th wedding anniversary. Been together almost 40 years. Funny part was, I was friends with her brother, and when he knew how I was, and she was down here one night, this house, because this is the house I grew up in, and we were downstairs watching TV, watching a movie, literally just watching a movie. And he come down the steps and started yelling he didn't want me dating his daughter or his sister, and he chased her out of the house. I don't know, Steve. It's whatever Tease guitars has in them. They sound good. They really do. I don't know who makes them for them, but they do sound good. And Torsen did send some other parts. Now I got a musically bridge, Kelly bridge, sent a Wilkinson Kelly bridge, black, bunch of tuners. This bunch of tuners. One of the Chinese copy Floyds. Bunch of pick guards. They did send this. Thought about putting this on there, the black, but I don't know. It's not going to be. No matter where I put it, there's going to be exposed screw holes, unless I would put hollow flash over them. But I like the brass saddles in this. Yeah, it's been an interesting life. Not bad for a kid that grew up in a town that had less than 3,000 people. Considering I was in a signed metal band, was in a movie. Almost died. And still, all this time, 40 years, 40 years together, to her dad, preacher, or he still is, and let's just say he wasn't happy. And he was so mad, he was going around at the reception, because we had to have two wedding receptions, one for her family, because her family were all, there was no alcohol. My family's Italian, so it was alcohol. So we had two receptions. He was so upset. He was going around their reception, telling I'll be gone in a year, and he'll be stuck raising the kid. I mean, I had long hair, rode a Harley, wore leather pants. He wasn't played heavy metal music. He wasn't very happy at all. I was everything that he told her she didn't want. He didn't want her around, and that just made her want to come around. Well, there you go, Peggy. My dad was mayor. So Wednesday, I will give these away and a couple of these sticks. And like I said, they're green on one side, yellow on the other. Give those away on Wednesday. Yeah, he wasn't too happy at it. I don't blame him. And I didn't understand it. I mean, I swear to God, I didn't understand what all the anger was about until I carried my daughter Carrie out of the delivery room. Then it hit me like I ran into a brick wall. And I thought right then and there, wow, I probably would have been the same as he was or worse. You know, had Cole, and well, we didn't have Cole yet. Uh, I just when Cole was born, obviously, it's different for guys with a son. When you have a daughter, it's like completely different, and I completely understood then. But I didn't up until that point when I brought her out of the delivery room to show my parents and her parents walking out that door. I was like, wow, for the rest of my life, I got to protect her. And when she married Stephen was actually nice. He come to the house and asked if it was okay if he asked Carrie to marry him. Beth kept looking at me when he asked that, and I was like, oh, I gotta play with this one. So I said, hey, you ever watch Everybody Loves Raymond? He's like, well, yeah. I said, remember when Robert went and asked for to marry Amy's, to her parents, to marry Amy, and they told him, oh, that's sweet, but no. He's like, yeah. I said, I like that episode, and I left it at that. And he didn't know what to say. He thought I was saying no. And I told him, after about 10 minutes of him sweating it out, I said, tell you what, you're a good guy. Carrie had him scared of me anyhow. She's like, you don't understand. My dad's a competitive shooter, and he teaches people how to shoot people. So, I said, you're a good guy, Stephen. I said, if my daughter ever comes home to me crying because you did something, you better turn yourself in before I get to you. I mean, I have trophies in the other room. Well, they're in the closet now because I moved that room. I did that room like a cabin with the bear stuff. But I took first place in Glock matches. And I've been an instructor for over 20 years. I went to Fort Bragg and taught pistol and shotgun down there to 101st. So she's like, remember, Stephen, my dad, he teaches people how to shoot other people. So yeah, it was interesting, but he's been a good guy. They just celebrated their 5th year together the day after Beth and I celebrated our 38th year marriage, and he's been good to her. And I can't complain at all. Good son-in-law. Since I've had my back surgery and everything went bad for me, he's more than willing to come down here. He'll get mad at me if I go try to do something that he knows I can't do or shouldn't be doing. He gets mad. I told you I'll do it. I'll do it. He'll come down. Yeah, Billy Ray, I used a 17, 17L, and then a 34. And Johnny Glocks out of Sarasota, Florida I was his very first sponsored shooter. I had all Johnny custom Glocks triggers. Matter of fact, he came from Florida here to Ohio to set one of the guns up for me for a competition. And then that following, that was like on a Wednesday, and I went Saturday and I set a stage record on the steel. Yeah, I did. Well, I also taught reloading classes too. Johnny Custom Glock, Johnny Glock's triggers. Well, I used to do boxing. I didn't do martial arts, James, but I did do Golden Gloves. I was heavyweight champion when I was 15. My grandfather taught boxing, and two of his brothers, my great uncles, were professional boxers in the 30s, 40s. Matter of fact, my one uncle um, was in Alabama playing football. He played Rose Bowl, and then they got drafted for the Marines. And there's a book out. Look up the Mosquito Bowl. It was in the South Pacific. It was a bunch of the college football players that were in the Marines all got together and had a football game. It's actually in a book on the internet. Just look up the Mosquito Bowl, 1943 or 44, somewhere around there. Yeah, I had a custom 17L, and a custom 34, all from Johnny, not Johnny Bean, Johnny Glocks. Yeah, look it up. I mean, those of you who know my real last name, I have an uncle in there, and that name's in there. He had played Alabama in the Rose Bowl. It's called the Mosquito Bowl, and it took place. I forget on what island, but it was in the South Pacific. It was all the Marines, and well, I guess even the sailors, who was all college. They get out drafted from college. They were all college football players, and it was like half of them end up with malaria. It was bad. My uncle was in Saipan, Guam, Guadalcanal. Got shot and ended up getting shot in the shoulder. In Tarawa. Well, and what's funny, Steve, is I've been called Gunner since I was a little kid. When I was, back when I was a little kid, you could go buy Mark's toys that were like machine M16s, and I always had. I guess I was always destined. I always had a guitar in my hand and some type of toy gun. So I mean, I was first, second grade. They called me Gunner. I actually thought about changing my name, Gunner, at one time, the last name. I really did. Yeah, I had Johnny Glocks as a sponsor. I had CTS Red Dots, Seymour sponsor. Rainier Ballistics was a sponsor. Winchester Primers was a sponsor. Hodgdon Powders. Um, then when I did the three guns, I had BCM as a sponsor for ARs and Wilson Combat. and hex mags. And these weren't discounts. This was all boxes of stuff showing up at the house for free. But part of the deal was when I had to seminars also. So yeah, I got powder and primers, and also Starline Brass was a sponsor. I got all that stuff. People say, "Oh, you got it for free." Well, not really. I mean, my time is worth something. So I did have to go do seminars with the other shooters and talk about the products. But I did turn away products that did not do what they told me they would do. And they're like, "Well, we'll just send you 4 or 5 of them." Just tell them. I said, "No, I'm not going to lie to people and waste hard-earned money. Then they have to save up again to get something better." I refused to do it. So there was quite a few I turned away. So anything I talked about that I got free, I actually used it. All right. Good night, Mr. Mick. Thank you for stopping by. Damn, it's going on 3 hours. I'll go another 15 minutes, then I'm going to go play some Call of Duty. My character now on Call of Duty is Jason Voorhees. You have two options. You have the traditional, like he looks in the movies, or you have the tactical Jason, where he's all done in black and the mask is black with silver spots on it. I still play it almost every night, Peggy. But Johnny doesn't play it anymore, and I can barely catch Alex. And then Jed, his schedule changed, so I just sit out there and I'm alone and with a bunch of people I don't know in the matches. Oh, it's changed now too. The maps have changed. The characters are more real looking. I mean, it's a lot better. Oh, you mean put the switch in the back? I never thought about that. I'd have to switch the pots so the volume would still be here instead of here. I don't know. Volume here, tone, switch. I don't know. I might try that. This one's going to somebody, and the blue one will be going to somebody eventually. The right person shows up and needs one. Like I said, I have a couple teachers at schools that let me know. And then, of course, people at the store will let me know. And then now it's to the point where word of mouth has gotten out, and everybody's like, "Hey, I know this guy might be able to help." So as long as you guys keep donating and letting me be able to do it, I can keep doing that. And I hate asking for that or having, would you like donate parts on? I hate doing that because at first when I started doing that, people were saying, "Oh, you're just hoarding all the parts for yourself." No, I'm not. And that's why I started doing the stuff on the shows to show them, hey, this isn't my guitar. Going back to the 3D printer, I can't wait. There's some I need to make that no one makes. And I might do a giveaway one night on one of Johnny's shows where, say, I don't have the printer yet, so don't hold me 100% on this, but where I could say, you know what, if let's use this for example. If you win tonight, I'll make you custom knobs here or volume pot knobs, uh, knob for this, maybe even a pick guard, custom colors, whatever. Or a regular another guitar. You might make custom pickup rings. I'll do that as a giveaway, and I'll make it something one off. You got it. No one else will have that. Nice switch, man. This is what gets me with these Tease guitars. These are CTS full size pots. Real high quality switches. I don't know who makes the pickups, but they sound excellent. Kill switch. I don't think I can 3D print a kill switch. Well, I mean, I might be able to make a cap for one. I don't know. But I'm thinking I've seen them where they've even made pegs itself. The not the peg, the actual. But I will be able to make the adapter for Floyd Rose. I have to round out the neck, and you can make pick. Hell, you can even make picks. I watched a video where a guy made picks. I thought that was pretty cool. Put a kill switch on this, huh? I also put the roller string trees on this. Did it on the blue one too. I thought about that, Steve. I thought about doing that on one. And if Torsen ends up sending me a couple more, I may do that. But what I have to do, obviously, I'd have to route out the back cavity. Just had a crack in the paint when I got it there. But this has this cutaway. The blue one doesn't have that. This does look so cool. And I did this live on the show. No, it wouldn't be. I have the templates to route all that stuff out. I don't have a CNC router. Maybe someday. But I do have templates to route the back cavity out, the first slot for the post, and then the final for the recess. Billy, if you have a black guitar, just send me the body and I can hollow flash it for you. And I kind of like that. You know what? I went back after I did this and started looking at some of the original Kramers. So this is Kramer hollow flash on here, and they did completely 100% coverage. And I started looking at that and I thought, man, I don't like that. It doesn't break it up. I like it like this, where you have the breakup of the colors. And for this, for some reason down here reminds me of like palm trees. Like here, like a sunset beach with palm trees and waves. I don't like it when it's 100% coverage because it's too much. This way you get the breakup with the color. But they say do it on black is always best. I just, I don't want to do the 100% coverage. And again, this is just like crackle. There's no two alike. I mean, look at it. It looks like palm trees. there, here, waves coming over. Should be a California guitar. I like the breakup, the color instead of, it's just too busy when it's all this. I mean, if that's just all you saw everywhere, like look at the old Kramer from the '80s, it was completely covered in that. Because when I did the headstock, that wasn't very easy doing that. Try to keep not getting it on the logo, and then on this angle right here. But then I thought about, well, should I come down here and put some more on it? Then I stood back and looked at it. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. Freaking palm trees, beach scenery, waves. No, I ain't putting any more on it. So I think they actually look better with breakup in between it. I didn't do the sides. I didn't do the back. And under here, well, it's got a big route out on it, but still there's some right here. I didn't put any here where you don't see it. I just did like a half inch in around the pick guard. So it's just where you can see it. So that's why I'm deciding on Dane's guitar because um, on this one, none. You don't clear the hollow flash. You just put it on. There's no clear on this whatsoever. If you do use a clear, it's supposed to be a water-based clear, and then they say it really it takes away from the hollow flash effect. And what happens is over years of playing, it'll start to wear down, and you can always put more on it. But I now have silver and the gold. And I can get green, red, blue, pink, but don't tell Johnny. Yeah, what I did to this, Steve, was I had cleaned this all up and waxed it, got it all nice and shiny, and then just started doing the hollow flash over top of it. So it doesn't nothing. Yeah, I think there's green, red, blue, silver, gold, pink. There might be purple. And you get these colors, but they're different variations of the colors. Yeah, that's what I thought too. And they said don't clear it. Well, I didn't want to try it. I thought about doing it on here, but I mean, you, I mean, it's not real lumpy. It's barely feel it. So it basically kind of burns into the paint. Whoppers are nice. Yeah, I don't, like, well, yeah, I put like a little bit here, just maybe half inch or an inch in, and just around here. There's nothing here in the center, right in here. I don't think. MPN, thank you for hanging out, man. Thank you for everybody. Uh, do you want me to do more of these on Mondays? Let me know in the chat before you leave. I know one thing I haven't heard. Is it been buffering like it did when I did it just on the YouTube? I know I was getting comments it was buffering really bad just through YouTube. So I actually did stream. I'm through StreamYard to free StreamYard, and it's not 1080p. It's only 120 or 720. No buff. Okay, so I'll just have to go through StreamYard continuously then. Yeah, I don't mind doing it. I'd sit here and talk, just work on a guitar. Again, I'm not cutting into Johnny or Laz. It's just me sitting here. I got to work on them anyhow, so why not just have somebody to talk to? Thank you, James. So it just, I mean, I love the breaks in between the colors. I think that's what makes it unique. Well, it's Peggy. That's what I'm here for. Ask any question. If I don't know it, we'll find it out together. Figure out what it can be, one way or the other. All right. With that, it's been 3 hours. So everybody, thank you, and should be on with Johnny tomorrow and Wednesday. Hope I am. I hope he doesn't get mad that I did this and not have me on anymore. Because again, I'm not trying to take over or do his thing. I'm just want someone to talk to basically while I sit here. So I may see you. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow and Wednesday. Again, I won't be Friday or Saturday unless it's from out of town, just off the phone. So I won't be at the bench. But maybe I'll just do this every Monday at 9 o'clock, as long as I got something to work on, which is pretty much all the time. Even if it's like I said, going over one of my own. So thank you, everybody. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, so you know when these happen. Um, that's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you, everybody. Bless you all. Everybody stay safe. And hopefully, I'll see you on Johnny's show tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.